This is Alex with an I.
And this is Jess Cans.
And you're listening to Inside the Makeup Bag,
where we remove the makeup,
cut the filter,
and expose the naked truth
about the beauty industry.
Let's get into it. Zip! Welcome to episode 6. Spooky episode.
Woo!
It is officially spooky season, even though for me it's been spooky season for quite some time. For Jessica, that is not the case.
It just started.
I'm super excited for today's episode, not only because it's spooky season and it is a spooky episode, but there's no one better to have on our show for this episode than Morgan Muta. Welcome.
Yay.
Thank
So
you for
let me
having me.
give a little intro about Morgan Muta.
Muta, slicha. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Oh my God. I just came from Hebrew class.
She just
Sorry.
at you. I don't know what she just said. No, but okay. So let me give you a little intro about Morgan Muta. I had to write it down because she has a lot of accolades. So I will be a little bit reading off of this. So let me introduce you to you all.
Oh my God.
My good friend Morgan Muta. She is a union makeup artist for local 488, which is Portland, and also Georgia and other places, right? It's not the same?
No. Just Portland Northwest.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Portland Northwest, Union 488. And her newest union under her belt is local 706. So that's amazing. Congratulations on getting that.
That's LA, in case you don't know.
Yes, LA. So a little bit about Morgan, her little backstory. She has worked in the FX shops all over LA. She was on makeup FX teams for The Walking Dead, Iron Man 2, Predators, and literally so many more. I had to have her just give me 3. She also periodically works with stop motion animation. Some of her on-set work includes Shrill, Portlandia. Her most recent one was the Santa Clauses, so that's kind of cool. And to top it all off, she was nominated for a Daytime Emmy for the TV show Trinkets, so that's really amazing. But the most interesting thing about Morgan, to me, is she is a Dance Dance Revolution champ. And I literally met Morgan. I just want to say I stalked her to be my friend when I seen her in school. She had asked a question to the great Leonard Engelman, and I seen her from across the room, and I stalked her to be my friend. So that's how we're friends, and I'm just so happy she's here.
Thanks, Morgan.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Great to be in.
I love it. Okay, before we dive into all the spooky things with Morgan, we obviously have to play a quick round of this or that.
Yes.
We're settling on it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
this
quick
or that.
and easy.
Mhm.
Just
Since
go.
nobody helped out.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. I feel like I might have asked this one, so if I did, please let me know. Is would you rather? Well, this or that. I don't know.
Am I playing this too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Cleansing oil or cleansing balm? Morgan?
Bomb.
Okay. Whoa, that was a quick answer. You see that, Alex? Take notes.
Also bomb. Quick.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now mine's going to be a little bit longer. So I am an oil person because I have both in my shower, just so everybody knows. But I hate sticking my hand in something in the shower. It just grosses me out, like your water dribbles down it. It just is this grosses me out. And I hate unscrewing it and then screwing it back up. So oil, I lean towards more.
I just prefer cleansing balm. I think it double cleanses better for me.
Agreed. Maybe they make it like a pump cleansing balm for you.
I
don't
mean,
know if
I'm
it would
happy
get-
with my first day
I
beauty
feel like
oil.
it would get stuck. I do like a cleansing oil too. I'm
Yeah.
not like I
I
don't
knew I
discriminate.
have a balm too. Right now I'm using pharmacy. I have them both, but I tend to lean towards the oil.
But all good points if you're doing it in the shower.
Yes.
Makes
Yeah.
more sense.
Okay. Alex?
Well, to keep it on spooky season theme,
Oh,
which Jess did not do,
I forgot. That's what I'm
Um, a scary costume or a sexy costume?
Oh, definitely neither. I'd like a very unique costume.
You have to choose what
I'm
I
not sexy or scary. Okay, if I had to choose sexy or
beg to
scary,
differ.
I'm both. I'm a little bit sexy. I'm a little bit scary. I think, I guess scary. Although I'm just very weird with my costumes, but scary if I had to choose.
I'm kind of with you. I mean, I usually do like a funny costume.
Yeah.
Although like now that I'm pushing 40, maybe
What?
Maybe I'll go a little sexier.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Let it
I
hang
say that, but
out.
last year I went as the dude.
Nice.
So that's a good example of what I do. Yeah.
I'm a spooky. I would go spooky over sexy. It's
Yeah.
more creative. You
Yeah.
can have more fun with it.
Mhm.
I definitely prefer it.
Now, if
I
I
also
did-
prefer to see them,
Yeah.
like spooky costumes.
If I
Yes.
did have like a body, I would
Of
totally be
course,
Jessica
of course.
Rabbit. I always want to be Jessica Rabbit, or Wonder
See?
Woman.
You like sexy.
I mean, those two specifically.
Did
Wonder
you see
Woman.
the Heidi Klum?
Yeah,
Just-
it was so much prosthetics. It was
No,
good.
yeah, but it was beautiful.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, hers was good. Okay,
Morgan, do you have a this or that for us?
Oh
On the
no,
spot.
I definitely don't.
Come up with one.
You said this was your favorite part.
Yeah, but I didn't know. I was like, I had to submit. I thought I was just getting asked. Do we? I don't know.
You can pass.
I gotta pass. You guys,
All right.
I can't stall out on this.
Wow.
I'm too on the spot.
Fine. I was very excited. Okay, well, anyways, I am excited for this episode because Halloween is my absolute favorite holiday. Not just because it's fun to dress up and get free candy from strangers, but I also enjoy the FX side of makeup more. It was my favorite in school. It is still my favorite to this day. Do I do it ever aside from Halloween? No. So I love that Morgan gets to do this majority of the time, and I'm so envious. I wish I could do it all of the time, but that is a dog-eat-dog world that I am not ready to fend for. However, I really, really love it. So let's get into the Halloween spirit and talk about some of our favorite Halloween costumes from Halloween's past.
Morgan, we'll lead with you. You're our guest.
I mean, as a kid, I have like an engineer father that is also like good at sewing, and so he used to make me crazy stuff. I think that's like probably where in part where I got my interest. You know, I was a strawberry. I was I was a Roman soldier. What else? What else did I do? A rabbit. Had a great mermaid costume. Oh, that one I
Mermaid.
loved. That was cool. Yeah, I was very, very into the Little Mermaid.
How old were you? Did you do makeup for it as well? Or was it just the costume part that was great?
Those were all costumes, but I definitely like got into injury effects when I
Nice.
got like middle school. Middle
Okay.
school was a lot of injury.
So you were like slicing and dicing
Oh
for
yeah,
Halloween?
definitely. A lot of, cuts.
She was a cutter.
Blood.
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
No, don't joke about that. I'm sorry.
But yes, I like it all. Now I like to do it on other people more, but yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Jess? Favorite costume?
So it's hard because I just was so many weird things. I would say one of my most favorite ones that people thought was crazy, that I was in full head to toe color. I was Smurfette, and I had a party at my house. And like the next day, because obviously I was drinking, there was like blue everywhere, like not just from my hands, like my legs, my body. I was literally painted in blue.
Because Jessica was just rolling around.
I don't know what happened, but I was literally, and I made my little Smurf hat, which was really cool. And then I had like the white dress, so I was Smurfette. That was really awesome. And then one of my ones that actually, you were with me that time, Alex, when I dressed up and it was like super like last minute. I was a crazy cat lady.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody loved it. I was like within a week got this costume, and I had my hair in rollers. I put my lipstick like all over.
Yeah. It was all gross.
And yeah, it was like the easiest one. So that one for sure was on my list. Like, and when
To
I
me,
was
that one kind of looked like you just rolled out of bed like regular.
okay. And we were roommates at the time, so I know she's really lying because she's seen how good I looked up. I was like Beyonce. I woke up like this.
Mhm.
Not like that. But and then I guess the other one that I would say I would have liked is well, I just went blank, so I don't know.
Honey Boo Boo? No?
Oh my God, Honey Boo Boo.
Oh damn!
I was Honey Boo Boo
I gotta see a
child.
picture of this.
Yeah.
And I had a tutu on, and I'll tell this story super quick. I had a party again at my house, theme here, and it was just honestly my family, my cousins, and my roommates. And somebody had called the cops on us, and the cops come, and I come out as Honey Boo because my room was like, oh, cans, go out there. So I went out there, and I like run down the stairs, and I was like in my tutu, with my go-go juice in my hand. I had like a sash on, a crown, and like a curly hair wig, blonde wig. And I was like, hey, officer, sorry, I don't usually look like this. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, they called the cops. I'm like, it's just my family. Like, we could pull out our IDs. You could see it's all family. And but yeah, that was super. Like, my cousin will never leave it down. He's like, I never seen somebody like talking to a cop as honey boo boo. Just like it was no big deal. You're like, but yeah. What about you?
It's on brand.
It's on brand.
I have a few. I would have to say my favorite. I can't say favorite, but one of I would say top three. My top three. One, I was Carrie, like
oh yeah.
But listen to this. I found the perfect prom dress. It looked exactly like her prom dress. I had the blonde wig. I was walking to the West Hollywood Halloween party, street, whatever, festival, whatever they call it, with a friend, and it was just me and him. And I had created this bucket of blood. I didn't have enough money to buy a big, huge, like few gallons of
Blood's
blood.
expensive.
It was
People
so
don't realize,
expensive.
yeah.
So I made it. I was like, I'm going to make it. I looked up some stuff online. I made it. It was not thick like it needed to be. It was like very watery. This was a very cold Halloween. And I asked a stranger who barely spoke English on the side of the street on a dark alley, do you mind pouring this blood on me while we record? And they were like, okay. And I was like, okay, great. So, or he recorded, I can't remember, but they were just like, okay, recorded on the phone, poured blood on me while I acted out the scene where Carrie got pig's blood poured on her. And this was at the beginning of the night. Okay, so I walked from Hollywood and Highland all the way to West Hollywood, which is a long walk. It's a long walk. It's like maybe 30-minute walk. In sandals, in a wet, soaking wet dress, covered in blood. And I was just walking the whole night. I was like that. My feet were black at the end of the night. It was so dirty.
But you're so sticky too.
But people, and everybody was Carrie. It was the year that they did the Carrie remake. So everybody was Carrie for Halloween. So I was stopping by other Carries and we are like, Carrie! And like taking pictures together. But I was like soaking wet. I was like, I should have just
extreme.
Yeah, I was literally doused, and I should have just spent a little bit of money on like a little bottle of blood and like.
No,
But I had
love
to go
the commitment.
I had to commit.
Surprise, Alex went overboard.
And then I'm a huge Halloween fan. I usually go out with my costumes. I would say all-time favorite has to be when I was Billy Butcherson. But that was a year I just was not in the mood. It was 2019. I was not in the mood to do anything for Halloween. My friend came over. We did some fun like
who is this?
Scar
Who's
makeup,
this person?
injury makeup.
Billy Butcherson?
Yeah, I don't know.
From Hocus Pocus. The zombie.
Morgan is kicked off the show.
It's okay.
Oh my God.
Cut that
stop,
out.
please. I can't get shamed right now.
Some effects artist she is.
Worked with him also, yeah.
Oh my God.
No, he's famous like creature actor. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
So I had always wanted to do that costume and I was so excited. My friend came over, we just played in makeup and then we did each other's makeup and then we wiped it all off and then did our own makeup and I did the coolest Billy Butcherson and I just walked her to her car and was like, all right, happy Halloween. And I walked back home and I took it all off.
A true makeup artist, by the way.
So sad. It took me hours.
What'd you do with your hair?
Ripped it off. I had bangs at the time. So I literally rolled it up. It was my real hair. Everyone thought it was a wig. It was incredible. And no one saw it. I'll show you a picture. And then I would say last year, I really went hard for Halloween. I did a lot of costumes, but people really loved my Mad Hatter. That was really fun. It was really fun. I usually just throw together costumes. I get very like particular. I'm like, this doesn't look like it. This isn't the same color. Like, I don't know. I want it to look good. Like that year you were a crazy cat lady. I was Barbara from Beetlejuice with the zipper on her lip.
Yeah. Okay, let me just tell you guys something. This will be remembered forever in my high school. Okay. I forgot about this costume. Senior year, I decided I was going to be a Trojan man. Back when I grew up, Trojan Man for like, you know, there was big commercials about Trojan Man. Like,
you mean the condom?
Condoms.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
Making sure we're on the same page here.
Anytime Trojan Man would put his arm in, it was just
Trojan Man.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it was just the yellow glove. So I made up what Trojan Man would look like. So I had yellow dish gloves. I had a red long sleeve shirt. I put a T on it. I had red pants and I got these neon yellow shorts. And my cape was, I think, red because I couldn't find yellow. And I put a big T on it. And I had a yellow mask, like, you know, the little masks or whatever. And I had a bag of condoms. And I was like handing them out to everybody. I was like, yes. Trojan Man. And like my dean was like, Jessica, you can't do that. I was like, his name was Bernie. I don't know his like that. We just called him Big B. And I was like, Bernie, here. Was it Bernie? No, shoot, I don't even know. I was like, here. And I gave him, I was like, it looks like you need to have a good time. And I just gave it to him. And that was a classic costume. No makeup, but it was really, I should have won costume of the year and I didn't, but I think they didn't want me to because I was
right, because it was
Man.
inappropriate.
But I mean, not really. It's safe sex. We were in high school.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Totally. But I guarantee you, people from my high school still will remember Trojan Man.
Now I need to circle back to. I think my best one was for those who know. I used to have long brown hair. Oh. That was Daria.
That's a good one.
And it was like good. All the pieces were on, and of course my personality was on.
That's a good one. Yeah,
her just like is Daria.
Just monotone, everything. That's awesome. That's a good one. I love when costumes fit. When I was 12, just real quick, because I was telling my client about this, and we laughed hysterically. It was the first time anyone ever was like, "That's pretty funny." Like, I was 12. It was Halloween. I was dressed up as a bush. I just wore a green. I wore a green shirt, not even like the color of a leaf green. Okay, it was like a minty green shirt. I had green capris. And literally capris, and I duct taped with silver duct tape pieces of leaves to me, like branches and leaves, and I was a bush, and I like teased my hair. Get this. I started my period that year for the first time ever. And my client goes, and you were dressed as a bush? That's funny.
I don't get it.
A bush? What else is a bush?
Oh, your vagina hair. I was like, what?
She was like, that's hilarious.
You summoned it.
I was
celebrate.
Like, what? She was like,
to celebrate your womanhood.
Yeah, literally. You called it upon yourself. So anyways, I just thought that was really funny.
In the bush.
Anyways, that.
Going to Pound Town again.
Literally.
Okay, let's get into
the Morgan.
Let's get into Morgan.
Oh, God.
Let's get into Morgan. Okay.
I'd
like to.
All right. I'm kind of ready. All right.
Okay.
Half ready.
Go for it.
Okay. I was like, what is that? Swag? Segway?
Swag.
Question is
the day she learned the word
surge.
Segway.
I knew it.
Surge
I was like,
soda?
I was like, Jessica's going to be really confused by the word Segway.
Isn't that the thing you ride?
Yeah.
Okay, Morgan.
Mm-hmm, yes.
What made you decide to be a union? It's a big decision for artists to make, but what was your what made you say I'm going to be a union artist?
It's less of a big decision for someone in my career path. I think if you are wanting to do editorials, you want to do runway, you want to do red carpet, it doesn't really affect you. It's not, none of those are union jobs. If you want to work in film and television, it's not about deciding you have to be union. It's the only way you're going to be able to work on higher caliber stuff. And so it's kind of like you just start trying right away and, hope you can get in.
How did you know you wanted to go that route instead of the other route, like editorial, whatever? Because I feel like in makeup school, you kind of learn everything and you're like, I don't fucking know, man.
I think because the reason I went to makeup school is because I always knew as a kid this was what I wanted to do. And what I obsessed about was horror and horror movies.
Yeah.
So I knew, there's seminal moments and movies for me growing up of that's what I want to do. And so I knew that was going to be my path. And sometimes I kind of I'm like, oh, that would be fun to do kind of pretty stuff or high fashion stuff. But it's I had to choose, and this is the direction I went. So
you did well for yourself. What advice would you give other artists who want to go the union path?
How do they get in?
It takes such a long time.
Yeah.
It's so complicated.
It's interesting. I was down here for 6.5 years in my 20s, and I never got in. Ended up going back to Portland, and it was such a small pool in Portland that I just kind of got put in. But then, it like, I think delayed me coming back for a long time because of my fear of like, I'm a certain age. Can I do this again? Can I start over? Like, it depends on the person. It depends on the way you get in. But like, it can take the better part of a decade sometimes to join 706. So it was like kind of a scary thing. But I think one big thing for me, a lot of it's like you just keep doing the work. But for me, like in particular, being social, networking, putting myself out there is like a big struggle. And that I think was my best pathway. I think you really just have to say yes. I mean, within reason. If something's not, going to lead you to a better place, set boundaries. But I think just saying yes, showing up, telling people what your intentions are. If you, start vocalizing, like, this is what I want.
And
people,
so, like, when you say telling people, what do you mean? Like directors, producers, other makeup artists? Like,
makeup
who
artists.
are you telling?
Makeup artists. You can get in, like, if you start out, like, fresh out of school, you start doing, like, short films. Let's say you're doing college film, thesis films. You're doing... there's a world where like you can make these connections with people who are also just starting out and you all rise together.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is one route of that. But I think for me, because of the route I went, which is kind of starting in the shops, for me, it was telling supervisors, telling people that were successful, like, I want to join you. What can I do to get there? What do you need to see from me to hire me and help guide me? And if people are I think if they're good people and they're secure in themselves, they will help guide you to that point because they want good people too. So,
Right.
Yeah. It's definitely
And they definitely have
networking.
to be secure in themselves because
Right.
I feel like in every industry, especially beauty, people are very insecure and think that you're going to come for them. And it's like, we could all
take
thrive.
their job.
Right.
We could all
There's
thrive.
enough to go around.
Yeah. Okay. What advice would you give other artists? Oh, wait. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, this is
Rewind.
It's actually a perfect segue. You were talking about working in the shops, and we just kind of want to know more like about what that was like.
Yeah. So after makeup school, you worked in the shops, and what was that?
So I asked it for you, Jess.
Okay, now I'm with it. Thank you. I didn't hear it.
God, I've been up since 7. I'm sorry.
I feel for you, babe. I think it's changed a lot. It was like, so I was 20. How old was I? 23, I think, when I started. 39 now. It was rough.
Morgan
I'll
at
be
that time
honest.
had bangs, brown bangs, and her
Brown
hair.
bag. Yeah,
little pony.
I've had a
FX
lot.
shops are mainly guys, right?
I think that's when I say rough, that's mostly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I've heard feedback. I know there's lots more women in
Yeah.
the business now. But there were very, very few at that time. I know in the first effect shop I worked at, I was one of like I think 4 women there, but all the other women that worked there were in either hair or like hair laying, wig making, or fabrication, which is like more sewing work. We had like a female foam runner, but I was the only female mold maker at several shops I worked at.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm like, so it's, I think I'm not like talking about like work right now. I'm just kind of talking about a dynamic, but I think I really had to prove myself. I think people viewed me as like soft and weak.
Because you were a girl or because you were just new to the shop?
Because I was a girl. Yep. And so I had to kind of go like, I can do this too. And, a lot of it's like very dirty. It's kind of toxic. It's
Literally toxic chemicals, like
Like
toxic
really-
toxic environment.
really
Both.
toxic
both.
chemicals.
Oh.
Like we use a lot of similar materials that are used in like auto body shops. And
shit.
so you have to be really careful. A lot of like respirator work and fiberglass. And I mean, I did, you kind of start, if you're a mold maker, you're going to start with fiberglass. And so I did tons and tons of fiberglass. I remember when I was like at like kind of the peak of my fiberglassing world, I remember opening my car, which had like fabric seats, and the sun had shone in and the entire inside of the car was glitter.
Oh my god.
It was just like there was fiberglass everywhere.
Oh my god, fiberglass is so itchy.
It's so itchy.
It's like
So I smartened. I think I was like so ready to prove myself that I wasn't probably as safe as I should have been. But
Yeah.
now I'm definitely an advocate for, taking care of yourself. You have to last,
What positions did you have in the shop then? Okay, you said
So I started out as a mold maker. I've done just very, very little foam work. I've done silicone casting. I've done oh gosh, what else have I done? Fabrication. I've done I'm sure I'm forgetting. I've done
a lot.
I've done a lot of departments.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Before we go to the next question, I do kind of like a side question. How was that challenge from you to leave the shop? Because I always feel like you think of makeup world, right? Like in FX, you have your shop people and then you have your people on set, right? The set artists and the shop artists. How was that transition out of the shop? Because so many people stay in the shop.
It's a good question because it really challenged me. Like, when you start out in this business, you want to be a makeup artist, you're hustling. You're hustling for no money. And so I think when you're working at a shop, I mean, obviously, like I was getting great skills and I have no regrets about that and making good connections. But there was a point where I was like, I became afraid to leave because I liked that steady paycheck. And I remember talking to a sculptor once who said to me, he said, do you know I started out as a mold maker? And I was like, no way. I didn't know that. Like, you're such an amazing sculptor. And he said, yeah, because I always knew I wanted to be a sculptor, but people were hiring me as mold maker. And he said, I did the hardest thing that there is to do, which is when that job comes through, you say, no, I don't do that anymore. And that's scary because you want to earn an income. You want to always say yes. And he said, I needed to change the way that people thought about me and the way they viewed my skill set. And so I just started saying no, I only sculpt. And lo and behold, he's like one of the top effects sculptors now. So I think it's knowing when to say yes and also knowing when to say no. And like, is what you're doing in line with where you want to be? Because if it's just about like paying the bills, get a job that pays the bills, put your focus where your passion is, and don't be distracted by comfort.
Yeah.
Cool.
What was one of your biggest challenges or obstacles in your career? Was it leaving the shop and doing that, or?
I think leaving the shop was a huge one. I think also trying to figure out how to kind of navigate and define myself when I do a lot of different things. That still continues to be a challenge.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to be known. I mean, I think there's lots of multi-talented people out there for sure. But it is good to be known as being kind of the best at something versus the jack of all trades. And I think that increases your value.
Yeah.
You might not get the amount of work, but you're going to get much more money for that work if you are a specialist and you are the best. So
I know you said that's an obstacle for you. Have you kind of narrowed down your niche, or are you still?
I have. Yeah. I definitely have. I think some of it's in my gut, which is like, this is where I feel that those are those moments I would listen to if I was going to ever give someone a piece of advice. Do what in the moment makes you feel alive. And I think there are moments where it's like, okay, this is cool, this is in line. And then you'll do a project and you are like, this is why I wanted to do this. And it's kind of a magic moment. I mean, this is so cheesy, but it's like even on my last show, like I'd never worked at Disney Studios. I'm a big Disney fan. Like walking onto that lot for me was like, this is why I wanted to be a makeup artist. So do what lights you up.
Cool. So I don't know if it's the one you just mentioned, but what has been your favorite project you've ever worked on? And it could be from your shop days or your now days, or I mean, whatever.
I think there are seminal ones. I mean, I definitely the last job I was on was a big deal to me. Like, honestly, mostly because I was working in a trailer with all of the people that I have wanted to meet and work with for years.
Oh, you worked with that makeup artist, right? That everybody loves. Right?
Yeah, I don't want to name drop on you.
No, nobody cares.
I mean, I think working for Rick Baker was a big deal to me. That was cool. That was a shop. You know, I'm one of a few women to ever work for him in that capacity. That was cool. It was his last big show, Men in Black 3. I think, even my very first kind of intern job, Alien vs. Predator, Requiem, that was exciting. Also, I did a a project for through a shop for Banksy, which is
Oh,
very cool.
cool.
He came in, it was like surreal. And I think oddly, like documentary now, it's a very niche show. Not a lot of people know it, but I was such a big fan of the show before I got to work on it that it was very special for me because I was a nerd about it.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And lots of like kind of on the fly, low budget prosthetic makeups on cool famous people and yeah.
Fun.
Stuff.
What is a movie that you wish you could have worked on?
I know my answer.
So many. What I want to hear.
Yeah,
Give
what's
me
yours?
a list all.
Barbie. I wish
Oh,
I could have
Bar- yeah.
worked on Barbie.
Dude.
How fun!
100%.
did that
I
look?
thought that the entire time
Yeah,
I watched
was
that
like,
movie.
wow, I
That's
wish
it?
that was.
Yes. I think I said it the second I
So
walked
much
out.
fun.
Me and Alex watched it together. We cried together.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ugly
was
cry.
so much
I always
fun.
say like the first time I cried for some reason. The second time, like I had to cup my hand under my face to collect the amount of tears coming out. I mean that you said it, but I agree that movie was everything. Right?
Yeah.
Not effectsy, but
No.
so special.
But is there one not Barbie?
I mean, a lot before my time.
Like
I mean,
what?
that's like one of the seminal movies for me was
Pumpkinhead.
was The Fly.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Goldblum. I was such a fan of that when I left my first effects shop, I left there years prior, but when I moved to Portland, they gifted me with like 2 like signed photos of the makeup artist from The Fly. That was
Oh,
big.
Oh, that's
cool.
nice.
Like I'm a big like Nightmare on Elm Street
Yeah.
fan. I
that.
mean,
So
so
scary,
there's so
scary.
many,
Yeah.
so many. I could go on and on, but like really anything prime, like kind
Like
of horror from the
80s.
80s. That was the time to be working.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
in
There's
effects.
some-
Even like the thriller. What is
Oh,
it
yeah,
called?
Thriller
that
music
was
video?
Rick
Music
Baker.
video,
I mean,
you
that
know?
was like I remember
Oh,
when
that
I,
was Rick
I
Baker?
just started at
Yeah.
Rick Baker's, and they took me down to the basement where he has all
Yeah.
his storage, and there was just a cardboard box laying there with no lid. And my boss said, "Do you know what?" It was full of gloves, hands. I could see they were like zombie hands. He goes, "Do you know what's in this box?" I was like, "I don't." He goes, "These are all the gloves from Thriller."
That's so
sitting
That
in-
is so cool. Did you put it on?
No. I mean, they were like honestly, like all this stuff rots over time. There was
yeah.
there was something underneath a garbage bag sitting on the counter right next to it, and he was like, and he pulled the bag off, and you could see the dust from like the rotting foam coming off, but it was the striped gremlin from Gremlins 2 sitting on the stand.
No.
Yeah.
I don't freaking.
That's cool.
so I love that. I
taking
mean,
this.
right? It makes me giddy.
You want to know what? Gremlins actually aged pretty well. We just seen it in the
Hollywood
Hollywood
Cemetery.
Cemetery.
Yeah.
I wanted to go.
Yeah,
He did the second one for the record, but the first one I met the guy that does the first one. He actually lives in Portland now, but I love those guys. They're
Yeah.
cute.
They're
Yeah,
cute,
and it
yeah.
really
Creepy.
it
Yeah,
looks
creepy,
really
creepy.
good still years later, which is
Yeah.
always
Holds up.
doesn't always happen.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Who inspires you? Like, is there a makeup artist you looked up to, or maybe a brand that inspired you now or in the past?
There are so many. There's so many people. I think I definitely like started doing research on what artists were working on these movies that I really liked. I have really worked with basically everybody I've ever wanted to work with. I mean, like
That's awesome.
there's a shop called K&B that when I was a teenager, I was like that was my obsession. I loved everything they did. Like the Evil Dead franchise and you know, the one of the owners of that shop has been like very good to me and has, you know, been supportive of my career and coming up and stuff. And so yeah, I mean I just there's a lot of talented people out there that I want to be like. So keep moving forward, surrounding myself with them, hopefully.
Who's some of the
Yeah.
people that you've seen that you were like into on the movies?
What do you mean?
Who
Make
did
the
you-
makeup artist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you research?
Like
Like
one or two, you don't have to go in.
Yeah.
Chris Wayla, Stefan Dupree, like I said, Howard Berger, Greg Nicotero, you know, obviously Rick Baker. There's some also like kind of international artists that are I think are great.
Like the guy that did Labyrinth, him?
Pan's Labyrinth,
Yeah,
right?
he's-
They're great.
Yeah.
guy out of Canada that's great. He did like The Whale. And another older movie called Barney's Version that was beautiful, like really like subtle. I mean, there's so many people I'm forgetting right now.
That's cool that
okay.
you did the research to see who created the movies you love, and I think that's pretty unique, right?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I definitely was just like, I love that.
I want to do that.
I know. And then I'm like, who did that? I always envy people. Not envy. I'm like, you're better than me if you like know the name of the artist on the project that you love. I'm just like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved this look. And then I'm like, that's all. That's as far as I go.
I want it in, I guess. Man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Dedication from a young sapling age.
Okay. So we obviously both have an obsession with horror. But you've worked behind the scenes of things like that. Do scary movies still scare you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The movies that still scare me have no effects in them.
Okay.
They're like one kind of recent one, I guess, coming to mind is like Hereditary. Like, like stuff where you don't see anything. That's what scares me. The second I see a creature I've seen decent creatures, but like. No, I can watch. Can I cuss on this?
Yeah,
I can watch that shit before I go to bed. I don't. I love it. Like I don't.
What about like? Did you see recently Talk to Me? I found that to be a very incredibly well done horror film. It's made in Australia.
No, but
it's
I
about
need
the
to.
Hand. It's like a hand.
It has popped up. I need to watch it. Okay,
see if it. Tell me if it scares you, because I mean, there's not like. There's effects. There's like obviously blood and gore and stuff, but I want to know if that scares you because it's incredibly. That one was incredibly done, and you see where like effects were used, and I'm like, nope, that's real. So
okay, I can't wait now.
Yeah, it's really good.
What's another one recent? I want to know.
Don't ask me. You
don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Not your thing.
I don't even
have
like
a list. I can give you a list. I save a lot of. I follow a lot of people who. Rate horror films on TikTok, and I'll save them. But Talk to Me was the most recent that I was like, okay. Again, it's made in Australia. Actors were incredible. The storyline was just different enough. I think A24 made it just different enough.
You know it's good, right?
Yeah, that you were like, oh, I didn't think it was going to go that way when this was going to happen. And as you watch horror films, it kind of has a pattern, and this one broke the mold just a little bit. Not like too crazy where you're like, okay, it's not even scary.
Right.
It was like. Just a little bit different where it was creepy still and kept you guessing. I liked it a lot.
Let me just tell you guys something really fast. I worked on independent films, right, before I went to the corporate way. And I did a zombie movie. And I am still scared shitless of zombies. I hate zombie movies. I hate zombie video games. Working on set when they were acting, even though I know I did their makeup, was scaring me. Like, it's no joke. I didn't enjoy it. As
soon as Jess is done with her makeup, she's like, ah.
Like, if there's a zombie apocalypse, kill me, slice my wrist, just eat me now because I cannot survive. I always think about now because I lived in not a gated community, but my apartment is gated. And I'm like, I literally always think this, if there's a zombie apocalypse, like at least I live in a apartment that they can't come in.
Okay. That's actually perfect for the next question, Morgan.
Perfect. Of all the classic monsters, like witches, zombies, Frankenstein, ghosts, mummies, like vampires, werewolves, like the classic monsters, which is your like scariest or your favorite? Which one always had it for you?
Well, it's funny you say that because I knew this question was coming, and without question, zombies have always scared me the most. Without question. Wow. It's like, I think because there is no personality and there's like masses of them. And I mean, maybe second to that. I mean, really nothing compares for me. But maybe second to that would be vampires. Just because they're, they could definitely overtake. You can't hide from them.
Like the vampires from Blade, but not the vampires from Vampire Diaries. No. Vampire Diaries
not
make
sexy
me a vampire.
Vampires.
I feel like ghosts scare me the most because still ghost movies, paranormal movies to this day,
but like
still
I feel
get
the same
me.
way.
Real ghosts I love.
No, but that ghost is a classic monster. It's a classic monster character that we see time and time. I watch zombie movies and I'm like, woohoo, this is fun. Like I will never be like, oh, like my heart rate doesn't jump for like a zombie movie, like it
I'm with you
does for
100%,
a ghost
100.
film
Mhm.
or a witch,
Like
a good
Babadook.
witch
Have
film.
you ever seen that?
Yes.
Scared
Actually,
the crap out
those
of me.
are the only scary movies I could watch. Is real poltergeist or like exorcism movies are the only scary movies I
Oh
could
my God,
watch
those
because it's
terrify me.
real and it could really happen.
Yeah,
but then you
which
could just
makes
like
it scarier.
holy water priest it out.
Okay,
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Okay.
You've seen
the
where it
power
doesn't
of
work.
Right, exactly.
seen
That's
when it
why
doesn't
there's like
work.
multiple exorcists
Yeah.
because they all come back.
Actually,
know?
you know
Literally.
The Exorcist when her bed shakes. So I never been in an earthquake before, and the first earthquake when I was here, my bed was shaking and I was sleeping. The first thing I woke up, I was like, I'm being possessed. Like this is happening.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Same. I grew up in California, but they usually happen while I'm sleeping, and I haven't frequently felt them. But I remember the first time I felt one, I sat up in bed, and my bed was like,
Yeah.
"Ugh," and I was like, "Who's under my bed?"
I was like, the exorcist is coming.
In LA, more likely a break-in, but you know.
Yeah, but that's the first. I
Oh
jumped
my
out. I was
God.
like, I'm being possessed. This is happening. Oh my God. I know what to do. Like,
I know what to do. The power of Christ compels me.
Always keep holy water. Always.
Just always. Jess sleeps next to a bed of holy water, just in case. Okay, I have to ask this question because I would be annoyed at myself if I didn't. I would be annoyed at another podcast if they did this. Morgan, what's your favorite scary movie?
oh, like the scream.
Uh-huh. It's my favorite scary movie.
Ooh, that's a good way to introduce it.
It's easy because it's also my favorite movie, and it's like taking up an entire wall of my apartment. It was The Shining.
Whoa, yeah, good
Bedroom.
one.
That's The Shining, right?
Yeah,
With the
absolutely.
twins?
Yeah, I think it's a
My
beautiful.
friend worked in that hotel.
Oh my God.
The Stanley Hotel in Colorado. Yeah, the
Morgan's like, "I've been there."
exterior is actually Timberline Lodge in Oregon.
That's where she went to. She didn't work in there, but she worked at the Timberland Lodge.
Oh, okay.
Exterior.
Yeah, I used to
That's
grow
it.
up skiing at Timberline
Yeah.
Lodge.
Oh my God.
Snowboarding, in
Terrifying.
Timberline.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
but so
fun.
the interiors it was all soundstage.
Yeah.
It was modeled after a hotel in Colorado, but it was all soundstage. I just think cinematically, it's a beautiful movie, regardless.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe less scary, although there's definitely some scary parts in that movie. But yeah, really, really good. There's a few that popped out, that definitely have more. But
Yeah.
that's the winner.
That's your
Yeah.
top winner.
is.
I know. Mine's Scream. Hardcore.
Really?
Love
Yeah,
Scream.
I
Love
just
Scream.
It's like funny. It was I was scared.
Mhm.
It was my first scary movie I ever saw. I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies, so I was at my neighbor's house, and the way that the house was set up there, we were kind of on a hill, and her house was down the hill from my house, but just one house. It was legit next door neighbor, and I was sitting in her room watching it, and I saw my mom walking down to come say hi to her mom, and I literally ducked as if she could see in or knew what we were, because I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies. And then my second scary movie that I was exposed to was The Exorcist, and I literally, my
Oh my
dad was
God, I love
watching
it.
it in the living room, and I was just running back and forth from my room to their room to like catch glimpses of it. I was like,
You like watch it like this?
Yeah.
You're gonna die.
no, I never
there.
actually watched it from
What?
start to finish. Exorcist from
Exorcist.
start to
Really?
finish.
I-
I only watched it in runnings.
Such a good.
I would be remiss to say that is they call him the Godfather of makeup, that Dick Smith did The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and he was, I mean, it was a little like generationally a little bit before me, but really he pioneered
Yeah.
all the materials we use. I mean, he really he like invented a lot of this stuff. So
Jess, is your favorite?
My favorite is back in the day. I don't even know if you guys watched this, but it was based on the Ouija board. It was called Witchboard.
never
No.
heard of it.
Okay.
This
I
is that name alone.
Witchboard.
Witchboard.
I still think
this sounds terrible. I just have to be honest. Like I don't.
it is so scary. It was about the Ouija board and like,
But
they were-
trademark issues
Yeah,
clearly.
they
Yeah.
couldn't call it Ouija.
and but they had the Ouija board on there, but you were not supposed to play the Ouija board by yourself, and they were playing it by
no
themselves.
one else was there to push it.
No, so you play the Ouija board by yourself, and what happens is like a demon could come through the Ouija board, but was pretending to be good,
Oh.
and then like they come out like it was. I still think of certain scenes in this movie. Like there was one where she had lost her wedding ring. Like there was multiple. I think it was Witchboard 1, Witchboard 2. Like it was a series.
Oh, well,
These don't exist.
No.
I'm looking this up.
I'm
but-
telling you, I'm pretty sure it's Witchboard. It's definitely.
She's pretty sure.
Look
Now
it up.
it's
Look it up. We'll look it up while we're
Okay,
here.
you keep talking.
Okay, so I remember the one point she lost her wedding ring, and like they happen to like find it mysteriously down the drain. Like so, the like evil spirits like started out like as your friend, and then they try to help you by things that they have hidden or done. So you build their trust, and then eventually they like possess you.
It's called Witchboard, 1986. A cult favorite.
I told you, it is a really. I still think about scenes from that movie
Okay.
But when's the last time you watched it?
years ago.
Yeah,
It's very
well,
scary.
I think we need to rewatch.
Yeah, I
on
need to
that, but-
rewatch that and see if that still sticks in your mind. Because I rewatch
Let's
Scream
revisit
every
it.
year, and I'm like, yep,
Same, just
still love
watched
it.
Yep.
Love it. I know every line.
And then
I
Damien.
also love the remake. I love these
Yeah.
sequels, prequels, all the.
Yeah,
They've been doing it really well.
I like scary
latest
That
movies.
some of them were weird,
The
but
latest I saw
that
in
one got a little
theaters.
crazy. But I still enjoyed it as a fan. But
I never
the one
watched any
the
before the
one
first.
from last year, not the most recent, but the one that came out before the most recent, 5, I think, or 4,
Okay.
or whatever.
Oh my
I can see
God.
that.
That's
it
a
was
franchise.
really good.
That's a cool
Yeah.
franchise.
Yeah. they did
So
good.
fun fact about Scary Movie is from the first movie, I've always wanted to name, if I have a daughter, from that movie, Tatum. I was obsessed with that.
Oh,
name.
yeah, Tatum. That's a
Tatum.
good
When I
name.
heard that name on Scary
I mean,
Movie,
from,
I said
from
that's-
from Scream
Not
or
from
Scary
Scream,
Movie?
Scream, not Scary Movie.
Listen, I love Scary Movie too.
I
I'm not
also
gonna
love
lie.
Scary
Like,
Movie.
I love that
Both
actress.
of
my
them.
good hand.
Great.
What's the actress that's in them with the blonde
No.
hair?
Oh,
She's hot. What's her name?
I
She's
know
like,
who you're talking about, but now that you've said that, I can't. Anna.
yes,
Ferris.
Anna Faris. I love her.
Oh, wait,
No,
from
but
Scary
From-
Movie. We're
from-
talking
not
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore
Okay.
and not the
But-
person who,
But
not
from
who plays
Scream,
Tatum either.
Scream.
Right.
When I seen that, I said I want to name my daughter Tatum.
Tatum.
Still feel that way.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, I
a fun
like
name.
that.
It's different. You don't hear it a lot.
Right.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah,
I love this episode. It's probably one of my favorites that we've done for sure
Yeah.
because it's just my favorite time of year, my favorite subject, my favorite everything. The reason why I do makeup, even though I don't even do that makeup, but it's just fun to know that I can if I wanted to. But before we close out, of course, it's time to spill the foundation. We don't really have much foundation to spill, but just
right now the BI, the Beauty Insider event is going
At
on at
Sephora.
Sephora. So definitely check that out. Also, every
I think it's
holiday
10 days
set-
long,
Yeah.
so you got time.
Yeah,
But
don't wait
Because
because they're not going to be
shit
able to
sells out.
restock.
Yeah.
And also, every holiday set is seriously out and they are selling out. So if you haven't gotten down to get holiday sets,
Yeah.
truly don't wait. They've already been in stores, like we said on our last episode, and they are going, almost gone.
yeah.
I mean, I just got anxiety. Like, I need to
I
run
need
to
to go
Sephora
shop.
now.
Go
What time is
right
it close?
now.
Like,
Let's go.
Yeah,
I love
it is a
it.
good sale. I think people
I
definitely
love this
stock up on that
episode.
time.
Like,
Yeah,
I just
that
want to
was
keep
really
on
fun.
I
chatting.
know.
I think
I
we
could talk about scary movies all
I
night
know.
long. I'm
This
like,
is
oh, but this movie,
great.
this
I
movie, this
would.
movie.
I know. I wish we could keep going forever, but we only have a few minutes left, so we will close up by thanking Morgan again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Morgan, did you have anything for Spill the Foundation really fast?
Oh yeah. Do you have any tea?
Hey,
Any
nobody tells
insider
me
tea?
anything about products. I have no
It doesn't have to
product
be a product.
knowledge.
It can be
Um,
scoop.
You know,
it can be the scoop.
I
You
have
said
What
Yeah.
had-
actress pissed you off?
Yeah. Listen, season
Let's
after,
go.
I'm like very, I'm not supposed to
Yeah.
kiss
No,
and tell.
But
But man, I could tell. And
I
some
can only
people are-
imagine.
some people are amazing. Some people are.
I can only
your worst
imagine.
nightmare. Your worst.
Yeah.
I went on an
nightmare.
independent film, somebody pissed me off, and I pretended to like accidentally poke them with something, but I was a purpose.
What a fucking child.
I was like,
Um,
oops, so sorry.
Sorry,
I just got yelled at by it's never like the top actors. So I was like, I just got snapped at by someone on the last movie I was on for not, and like I walked right up to this person's face with a powder puff, and they like freaked out and said like, you really need to announce yourself before you come up to me. I was like,
Are they blind?
You were like,
I
choke
know,
on
like-
this puff.
They were
You should've
forgetting their
pretend.
lines, and they'll project on you if they're forgetting
Oh,
their lines,
okay.
and it's got to be your fault.
I
but
see, I see.
but
You
no,
should just stab
most
them
of
with
the time,
Spatula, like
it's
I
a thing
did.
they don't understand, like how
Yeah.
like dangerous I could be with my
Yeah,
tools.
you're like,
Yeah.
don't-
But no,
Just
most of
ask
the time
them to
people are
ask
rad. Like a lot of people do not like to have prosthetics put on. That is a
Mm.
thing. So it's kind of a crapshoot.
I'm sure there's tons of allergies too that you have to deal with, like
Yes,
irritated skin. And
yes.
especially if it's multiple days in a row, their skin's like raw. You're like,
Truly,
sorry.
like I have empathy because
Yeah.
it really does wear out your skin. You
Yeah,
have to be
it
very
sucks.
careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a removal you have to
Skin's
take your
raw.
time with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this last show I was on, we were working with kids, like all
Oh.
elementary school
Damn.
kids.
Yeah, that's
so
tough.
you really have to like be
Be
gentle
careful.
on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby skin.
All right.
Well, in closing, of course, as always, make sure you follow us on IG and TikTok. We do have our own IG for Inside the Makeup Bag at Inside the Makeup Bag _. And then I am at AlexJM at ALIXJM.
And I am Jess Canz, JESSCANZ as in zebra.
Make sure you follow Morgan as well.
Oh, yeah, Morgan.
Morgan M Makeup.
Easy.
That's- I know.
Mm.
I feel lucky to get that on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
handle, honestly. Morgan M Makeup.
Follow her
Yeah,
too.
no,
Yeah,
She's
check
cool.
her out. If she posts, I mean, she posts a little bit better than she should. But I mean, no, she's posting a little bit better than she ever did.
You know,
But when she does post, it's really cool. So she needs to get her
okay,
life
I have
together.
a show coming out soon. I've got a couple projects coming out
Yay.
soon. I'll post. But, we have
Okay.
been on strike. It's been
That's true.
It's been
Yeah,
a
it's been
little.
a
Your whole life, because
Okay,
I'm pretty
but
sure you've been
it's been
doing
a
makeup for a
little-
long time.
Okay. Noted.
wanna see
For
your
criticism
work.
taken, I will start posting
We
some
wanna
shit. I
see
don't know
your
what the
work.
people want to
Thanks.
see, but I'll
wanna
show
see
them.
it.
I want to see it
Okay.
all.
We wanna
Okay.
see
I want to see the
everything.
nudes.
As always, subscribe, you guys. Our subscriptions matter, especially on
Yes.
YouTube. I mean, both on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah.
Subscriptions matter a lot. Your comments mean a lot to us. DM us any questions.
And then also, if you had any questions that you want from Morgan, we may bring her on again. So if there's things that you really want to hear, even with Michael on our last
Yeah.
episode, ask, because we would love to have repeat guests.
Yeah.
So
This is just the
shoot the questions. And like literally, you're watching us right now. Hit the subscribe, watching or listening, because we're on multiple platforms. Just hit the subscribe button right now.
Just
Like, don't
do
be
it.
an
Why
asshole.
wouldn't you do it?
Immediately.
Yeah, like just freaking do it, bruh.
Tap, 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 tap,
Okay, yeah. So
Anyways,
sorry, cut
yeah.
Alex off.
That's
as per
okay.
usual.
No. As always, we release episodes every 2 weeks, or at least we try to.
Yeah.
Again, still working on Apple, but we are working on it. And
That's
then,
what I
of
thought.
course, available on Spotify and YouTube. And Morgan, I just want to say thank you again.
Yeah.
You will be zipping with us, so I hope you're ready. But also, I just want to wish everybody a very, very happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Let's pack up this makeup bag.
Zip.